In today's fast-paced world of dating, the game has changed, and so have the rules. Have you ever wondered why some men effortlessly attract and hold the attention of women, while others seem to struggle no matter how hard they try? Maybe you've been told to be overly nice, shower her with compliments, or cater to her every whim. But has that really worked for you? If not, don't worry. There's a reason why these strategies often backfire. What if I told you that the real key to becoming the kind of man women chase lies not in superficial tricks, but in embracing a deeper philosophy? A way of life that dates back to ancient wisdom, teaching you how to control your emotions, live with purpose, and exude unshakable confidence. Enter Stoicism, a timeless guide to mastering yourself and, as a result, transforming your relationships. This isn't about playing games or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, one that naturally captivates and draws others in. Stick with me, and you'll discover 10 powerful secrets rooted in Stoic principles that will not only make you more attractive, but will also change the way you see yourself and the world. Are you ready to uncover the truth about what makes women genuinely want to chase you? Let's dive in. 1. Live by your values and priorities. Have you ever felt like you were losing yourself in the pursuit of someone else's approval? Maybe you've put aside your own dreams and ambitions, thinking it would make you more available, more likable, more ideal. But here's the thing. Women are drawn to men who stand firm in their values, men who know what they want and are unapologetic in their pursuit of it. Think about it. Would you respect someone who abandoned their goals at the first sign of distraction? Probably not. And neither would she. Living by your values isn't just about looking good on paper, it's about exuding a quiet confidence that speaks volumes. When you're clear about what matters to you, be it your career, personal growth, or principles, you naturally become more attractive. Why? Because you signal that you are a man of purpose, someone who won't be easily swayed or compromised. Let's get personal. What are your core values? Is it integrity, discipline, growth? Whatever they are, let them guide your daily actions. Prioritize your personal and professional development, and don't be afraid to let her see that. It's not about neglecting her, it's about showing that you have a life rich with meaning, and she can be a valued part of it, not the sole focus. Here's a question for you. How often do you find yourself saying yes to things that don't align with your goals? If the answer is often, it's time to realign. Remember, a man who respects his own time and ambitions will naturally command respect from others, including women. And let's not forget the balance. Living by your values doesn't mean shutting her out. It means integrating her into a life that's already full of purpose. Maybe you're building a business or you're on a mission to master a new skill. Whatever it is, let her see your passion and dedication. Share your journey, but never lose sight of your direction. Now, I want to hear from you. What's one value you hold dear that you're committed to living by? Share it in the comments below. Let's build a community of men who inspire each other to live with purpose and integrity. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit the like button if this resonates with you. It helps more than you know. 2. Cultivate self-worth and confidence. Let me ask you this. When you walk into a room, do you feel like you belong, or do you find yourself shrinking into the background, hoping not to be noticed? Confidence, or the lack thereof, speaks before you even utter a word. And when it comes to attraction, nothing is more magnetic than a man who knows his worth. Here's the truth. Women are instinctively drawn to men who carry themselves with an air of self-assurance. This isn't about arrogance or pretending to be something you're not. It's about understanding your intrinsic value and letting that radiate in every interaction. Confidence isn't loud or boastful, it's calm, steady, and deeply rooted in self-belief. The foundation of confidence is simple. You must believe you are the prize. This shift in mindset changes everything. Instead of seeking validation from others, you become the source of your own worth. You're not looking for someone to complete you because you're already whole. This is where Stoicism plays a crucial role. By focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and reactions, You free yourself from the need for external approval. Let's paint a picture. Imagine you're at a social gathering. There's a woman across the room who catches your eye. Do you approach her with a sense of nervous anticipation, worried about what she might think of you? Or do you walk over confidently, knowing that whether she's interested or not, it doesn't define your value? The confident man understands that rejection is not a reflection of his worth, it's simply part of life. Confidence also shows up in the way you carry yourself physically. Stand tall, make eye contact, and don't be apt to take up space. Your body language communicates far more than your words ever could. A firm handshake, a steady gaze, and a relaxed posture all signal that you're comfortable in your own skin. Women pick up on these cues instinctively, and they're drawn to the quiet strength they convey. But here's the catch. Genuine confidence can't be faked. It's built over time through consistent action. Set goals for yourself and work toward them, no matter how small. Celebrate your achievements, learn from your failures, and keep pushing forward. Each step you take reinforces the belief that you are capable and deserving. Now think about this. When was the last time you did something purely for your own growth? Whether it's hitting the gym, learning a new skill, or simply stepping out of your comfort zone, these actions build your sense of self-worth. Over time, they create a feedback loop. The more you invest in yourself, the more confident you become. And the more confident you are, the more you naturally attract others. Finally, let's talk about how this mindset shift impacts your interactions with women. A man who values himself doesn't seek validation through constant attention or approval. Instead, he enjoys the connection for what it is without needing it to define him. This detachment is incredibly attractive. It signals that while you appreciate her presence, your happiness and self-esteem are not dependent on it. When you truly believe in your worth, you give off a powerful energy that draws people in. Women can sense when a man is comfortable in his own skin, and it's this quiet confidence that keeps them intrigued. Remember, confidence isn't about never feeling doubt, it's about moving forward despite it, knowing that your value remains unchanged. So the next time you find yourself doubting your worth, pause and reflect. Remind yourself of your strengths, your accomplishments, and the journey that brought you here. Confidence is built brick by brick, and with every step you become a man worth chasing. 3. Maintain emotional control. Imagine this scenario: you've been texting someone you're interested in, and suddenly she stops responding. Minutes turn into hours, and you start to feel that familiar wave of anxiety. Your mind races. Did you say something wrong? Is she losing interest? Before you know it, you're on the verge of sending a follow-up message, or worse, spiraling into frustration. Now pause. What would a stoic man do in this situation? The answer lies in mastering emotional control. One of the most attractive qualities in any man is his ability to stay composed, regardless of external circumstances. Emotional stability signals strength, resilience, and maturity, qualities women instinctively seek. It shows that you're not easily shaken by life's ups and downs, which makes you a reliable and calming presence. Here's the secret. Emotional control doesn't mean suppressing your feelings or pretending you don't care. It means acknowledging your emotions without letting them dictate your actions. You might feel disappointment, frustration, or even rejection, but instead of reacting impulsively, you choose to respond thoughtfully. This is the essence of Stoicism, recognizing that while you can't control external events, you can control how you react to them. Let's break this down further. When you allow your emotions to control you, whether it's anger, jealousy, or desperation, you send a clear message. You're not in control of yourself. This can be a major turnoff because it signals a lack of maturity and self-mastery. On the other hand, when you remain calm and collected, even in challenging situations, you exude ease of quiet confidence that draws others in. Consider a common scenario in dating: canceled plans. She texts you last minute, apologizing for having to reschedule. It's easy to feel disappointed or even annoyed, especially if you were looking forward to spending time together. But instead of reacting with frustration or passive-aggressive comments, a stoic man would respond with grace. No worries. Let's find another time that works, he might say, signaling that while he values her time, his happiness doesn't hinge on any single event. This kind of response not only diffuses potential tension but also highlights your resilience. You're demonstrating that your sense of well-being isn't tied to her actions, which makes you stand out in a sea of emotionally volatile individuals. Emotional control also plays a vital role in how you handle conflict. Disagreements are inevitable in any relationship, but it's how you navigate them that sets you apart. Instead of raising your voice or becoming defensive, take a step back. Listen to her perspective and respond calmly. By doing so, you show that you're not driven by ego, but by a genuine desire to understand and resolve issues. So this level of maturity is rare and deeply attractive. But how do you cultivate this kind of control? It starts with self-awareness. Pay attention to your emotional triggers and how you typically react to them. When you feel yourself getting worked up, take a moment to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, is this reaction helping the situation? What outcome do I want to achieve? Often, just creating that small space between emotion and action is enough to shift your response. Another powerful tool is mindfulness. Practicing mindfulness allows you to stay present and grounded, even when emotions run high. Whether it's through meditation, deep breathing, or simply taking a walk to clear your head, these practices help you regain perspective of situations with a calm, focused mind. Remember, emotional control isn't about being cold or indifferent. It's about maintaining your inner peace. Women are naturally drawn to men who can weather life's storms without losing their cool. It makes them feel safe, respected, and understood. So the next time you're faced with a situation that tests your patience or composure, embrace it as an opportunity to grow. By mastering your emotions, you not only become more attractive, but also more grounded, confident, and resilient. And that, my friend, is the kind of man any woman would be eager to chase. 4. Make decisive choices. Picture this: you're on a date, and the inevitable question arises, what do you want to do? You hesitate, deferring to her with a polite whatever you feel like. While this may seem considerate, it often lands as indecision, a trait that can be surprisingly off-putting. Women are drawn to men who know what they want and aren't afraid to make decisions. It's not about controlling the situation, but rather demonstrating confidence and leadership. Making decisive choices isn't just about picking the restaurant or choosing the movie. It's about showing that you're a man of action, someone who is thoughtful and prepared. When you take the lead, you relieve her of the burden of constant decision-making and signal that you're capable of handling life's complexities. Now think about it. What message do you send when you confidently propose a plan? You're showing that you value her time and that you've put thought into creating an enjoyable experience. Even if the plan isn't perfect, your initiative will stand out. It shows effort, which speaks volumes. Let's dive into an example. You've learned she enjoys Italian cuisine. Instead of asking her where she'd like to go, you could say, "There's this great Italian place downtown I've been meaning to try. Let's check it out." This approach demonstrates decisiveness, but it also leaves room for her input. If she has a different preference, she'll let you know, but your proactive stance has already set a confident tone. Being decisive also extends beyond dates. It shows up in how you navigate life's challenges, how you set goals, and how you pursue what matters to you. When she sees that you can make tough calls, whether it's in your career, personal life, or relationship, it builds trust. So women are naturally drawn to men who can take charge when necessary, making them feel secure and valued. However, decisiveness doesn't mean stubbornness. It's equally important to listen and adapt. If she suggests an alternative plan or has a different idea, be open to it. True confidence comes from knowing when to stand firm and when to pivot. It's this balance that makes decision-making an art form. Now let's engage for a moment. Think back to a time when you made a decisive choice that had a positive impact. How did it feel? Did it change the dynamic of your interaction? I'd love to hear your stories in the comments below. Sharing your experiences not only helps others learn, but also reminds you of your own growth and progress. And if you found value in this principle, consider giving this video a like. Your engagement helps bring more content like this to those seeking self-improvement and connection. Let's continue building a community where we learn and grow together. 5. Be patient and let the relationship develop naturally. In a world where instant gratification reigns supreme, patience has become a rare and powerful trait. Many people rush into relationships seeking immediate validation, affection, or commitment. But here's the truth. Lasting connections aren't built overnight. They require time, understanding, and mutual growth. If you want her to truly value and pursue you, patience is your greatest ally. Patience demonstrates confidence and self-assuredness. It shows that you're not in a hurry because you trust in the process and in your own worth. You're not desperate to lock things down or push for commitment before the time is right. Instead, you're willing to let the relationship unfold naturally, giving both of you the space to explore and grow together. Think about how this might look in practice. Imagine you've just started dating someone and you feel an immediate connection. It's tempting to want to spend all your time with her, to text constantly, and to accelerate the pace of the relationship. But doing so can often lead to burnout or even push her away. Why? Because it may come across as overeagerness, which can feel overwhelming and leave little room for her to reciprocate. Instead, slow down. Let her miss you. Allow her the opportunity to reflect on her feelings and decide, of her own accord, that she wants to spend more time with you. When you give her that space, you're showing her that you're confident in the connection and that you don't need constant reassurance. This patience builds anticipation and keeps the relationship fresh and exciting. Patience also plays a crucial role during moments of uncertainty or conflict. Perhaps she's hesitant about where things are headed, or she's navigating personal challenges that make her less available. Instead of pressuring her for answers or becoming frustrated, show understanding and give her the time she needs. This demonstrates emotional maturity and resilience, qualities that are deeply attractive. But patience isn't passive. It's not about sitting back and waiting for things to happen. It's about actively engaging in your own growth and happiness while allowing the relationship to develop at its own pace. Continue pursuing your passion, spending time with friends, and building the life you want. When she sees that you're not just waiting around for her, but actively thriving, she'll be drawn to your independence and depth. Let's take this a step further. How do you cultivate patience in a world that constantly pushes for more faster? Start by shifting your focus from outcomes to the present moment. Enjoy the process of getting to know her, the conversations, the shared experiences, the small gestures that build trust and connection. Each moment has its own value, and when you're fully present, you'll find that the journey is just as rewarding as the destination. Additionally, practice self-reflection. When you feel the urge to rush or push, ask yourself why. Are you seeking reassurance? Are you afraid of losing her? Recognizing these underlying fears can help you address them without letting them drive your actions. By grounding yourself in the present and trusting the process, you'll naturally exude the calm, steady energy that women find irresistible. In the end, patience is more than just a virtue. It's a demonstration of your confidence, your respect for her, and your commitment to building something real and lasting. So take a deep breath, trust in the timing, and let the relationship develop naturally. You'll find that what grows slowly and steadily often becomes the strongest and most enduring bond. 6. Communicate effectively. Effective communication is the cornerstone of any strong relationship. Yet so many men overlook its importance, believing that grand gestures or flashy words are what captivate women. In truth, what leaves a lasting impression is the ability to communicate with clarity, authenticity, and intent. Consider this. How often do we speak without truly saying anything of value? Conversations filled with surface-level chatter or attempts to impress may momentarily hold her attention, but they rarely leave a lasting impact. On the other hand, meaningful dialogue rooted in genuine interest and thoughtful exchange builds connection and trust. Good communication starts with listening. Many people think of communication as primarily about talking, but the real magic happens when you show her that her thoughts, feelings and experiences matter to you. Active listening means being fully present, giving her your undivided attention, and responding thoughtfully. It's not about waiting for your turn to speak or formulating your response while she's still talking. Instead, it's about hearing her words, understanding their meaning, and engaging in the moment. Imagine you're on a date, and she shares a story about her recent trip abroad. Instead of simply nodding or saying, "That sounds fun," take the conversation deeper. Ask her what inspired her to take the trip, what she learned from the experience, or how it changed her perspective. These follow-up questions not only show that you're paying attention, but also invite her to share more of herself, creating a deeper emotional bond. At the same time, don't shy away from sharing your own thoughts and experiences. Women appreciate a man who can articulate his feelings and perspectives with confidence and vulnerability. This doesn't mean you need to reveal your deepest secrets right away, but rather that you communicate openly and honestly. Share your passions, your challenges, and your goals. Let her see the layers of who you are. Another key element of effective communication is clarity. Avoid playing mind games or sending mixed signals. If you're interested in her, let her know. If you appreciate something she did, say it. If you have concerns or boundaries, express them respectfully. Clarity removes the guesswork from the relationship, creating a space where both of you can feel secure and understood. However, effective communication isn't just about words, it's also about how you deliver them. Tone, body language, and timing all play crucial roles. A calm, steady tone conveys confidence and thoughtfulness, while good posture and eye contact signal engagement and interest. Even something as simple as a well-timed smile can make your words resonate more deeply. Conflict is another area where communication skills are put to the test. Disagreements are natural, but how you handle them can either strengthen or weaken the relationship. Instead of reacting impulsively or defensively, approach conflicts with a mindset of understanding and resolution. Acknowledge her perspective, express your own, and work together to find common ground. This shows emotional intelligence and a willingness to prioritize the relationship over being right. Lastly, remember that not all communication has to be serious or profound. Playful banter, light teasing, and shared jokes are equally important in keeping the relationship dynamic and fun. These moments of levity build a unique rhythm between you, creating shared memories and experiences that deepen your connection. Incorporating Stoic principles into your communication can elevate it even further. Stoicism teaches us to speak with purpose, avoid unnecessary conflict, and remain composed under pressure. By applying these principles, you'll find yourself communicating not only more effectively, but also more authentically. In sum, communication is about more than just exchanging words. It's about creating understanding, fostering connection, and building a foundation of trust. When you master the art of communicating with intention and authenticity, you'll find that she isn't just listening, she's leaning in, captivated by the depth and clarity you bring to every conversation. 7. Foster deep connections through meaningful dialogue. Let's face it, the modern dating world is often filled with shallow conversations. People talk about the weather, their favorite TV shows, or what they had for lunch. While these topics might break the ice, they rarely leave a lasting impression. If you want to stand out and make her genuinely intrigued by you, you need to dive deeper. Building a meaningful connection starts with fostering conversations that go beyond the surface. Imagine you're on a date and she mentions her passion for painting. You could simply nod and say, "That's cool." But where does that lead? Nowhere special. Instead, you might ask, what drew you to painting in the first place? Do you remember the first piece you created that made you feel something powerful? Questions like these encourage her to open up, to share stories and emotions that go beyond the usual small talk. Why does this matter? Because people, including women, crave connection. They want to feel seen, heard, and understood on a deeper level. When you show genuine curiosity about her passions, experiences, and values, you create a space where she feels safe to be vulnerable. This vulnerability is the foundation of trust and intimacy. But meaningful dialogue isn't just about asking deep questions. It's also about sharing your own experiences and insights. Be willing to talk about what drives you, what challenges you've faced, and what lessons you've learned along the way. For example, if she asks about your career, don't just give a dry description of your job title. Instead, share what excites you about your work or how it aligns with your long-term goals. Have you ever wondered why certain conversations stick with you long after they're over? It's often because they touched on something real, something personal. Maybe it was a discussion about overcoming adversity or a shared dream of traveling the world. These are the conversations that forge a connection, a bond that feels unique and irreplaceable. Creating these moments requires active listening and empathy. Pay attention to her tone, her body language, and the emotions behind her words. If she talks about a challenging experience, acknowledge it and respond with compassion. If she lights up about a future goal, celebrate her enthusiasm and encourage her pursuit. By doing so, you show that you're not just interested in her superficially, you're invested in understanding who she truly is. So one of the most powerful aspects of meaningful dialogue is the way it encourages mutual growth. Through these conversations, you'll both discover new perspectives and insights. Maybe she shares a book or philosophy that shaped her outlook on life, and you find yourself inspired to explore it further. Or perhaps your stories of resilience motivate her to tackle a challenge she's been avoiding. This exchange of ideas and experiences enriches both of you, making the connection feel dynamic and alive. Let's also talk about timing. Deep conversations don't need to happen all the time, especially early on. They're most impactful when they arise naturally during quiet moments when you're both open and relaxed. It could be during a long walk, a late-night phone call, or even over a casual dinner. The key is to be present and ready to engage when the opportunity arises. And here's a Stoic twist. Meaningful dialogue aligns perfectly with the Stoic principle of seeking truth and understanding. Stoicism encourages introspection, honesty, and thoughtful engagement with others. By fostering deep conversations, you're not only building a connection but also practicing the art of living intentionally and authentically. In conclusion, the path to a woman's heart isn't paved with rehearsed lines or flashy displays. It's found in the quiet moments of genuine connection, where both of you feel seen and valued. When you engage in meaningful dialogue, you're not just building attraction, you're creating a bond that goes beyond the physical, a connection rooted in shared understanding and mutual growth. And that, more than anything, is what makes her want to chase you. 8. Maintain a sense of mystery. Have you ever noticed how the most captivating people in your life always leave you wanting to know more? There's something about them, an air of mystery, that draws you in, making you curious about their stories, thoughts, and experiences. This quality isn't reserved for novels or movies. It's a powerful tool you can use in your own life to keep her intrigued and engaged. Let's be clear. Maintaining a sense of mystery doesn't mean being secretive or playing games. It's about pacing the way you reveal yourself, allowing her to discover different layers of your personality over time. Too often, people make the mistake of oversharing too quickly, thinking it will create instant intimacy. But in reality, this can take away the excitement of getting to know someone gradually. Think of it this way. When you start a new TV series, part of the thrill comes from the slow unraveling of the plot and characters. Each episode leaves you on the edge of your seat, eager to find out what happens next. The same principle applies to relationships. When you reveal everything about yourself all at once, it can feel like binge watching an entire season in one sitting, interesting at first, but ultimately overwhelming and less satisfying. So, how do you cultivate this sense of mystery in your interactions? It starts with being intentional about what you share and when. For example, if you have an unusual hobby or an exciting life experience, hint at it without giving away all the details. Instead of saying, "I once climbed Mount Kilimanjaro," you might casually mention, "I've had some unforgettable adventures in the mountains." This invites her curiosity and opens the door for deeper conversation later. Another key aspect is having a life that's rich and fulfilling outside of the relationship. When you're genuinely passionate about your pursuits, whether it's painting, playing guitar, or exploring new cities, you naturally become more intriguing. She'll want to know more about the man who is so engaged with life, and she'll be eager to be a part of it. But let's address a common concern. Doesn't keeping some things to yourself risk making you seem distant? Not at all, as long as you balance mystery with openness. Share enough to build trust and connection, but hold back just enough to keep her curiosity alive. It's about creating a dynamic where she feels like she's always discovering something new about you, keeping the relationship fresh and exciting. Mystery also involves how you handle your emotions and reactions. Stoicism teaches us to remain composed and reflective, rather than immediately revealing everything we feel. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions, but rather processing them thoughtfully. When you respond with calm and measured words instead of impulsive reactions, it adds an element of intrigue. She'll be drawn to your emotional depth and the way you carry yourself with quiet confidence. Here's something to think about. What parts of your life could you reveal more slowly? Are there stories, hobbies, or goals that you could unfold gradually, allowing her to discover them over time? Reflect on how you can bring this sense of mystery into your interactions and watch how it transforms your dynamic. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever experienced the power of mystery in your relationships? Maybe you've been intrigued by someone who kept you guessing, or perhaps you've intentionally left things unsaid to spark curiosity. Share your thoughts or stories in the comments below. I'm curious to see how this plays out in your own lives. And if you're finding these insights valuable, don't forget to like this video. It's a small action, but it helps build our community of growth and learning. 9. Encourage mutual investment. Relationships thrive on balance, and one of the most powerful ways to cultivate that balance is by encouraging mutual investment. When both individuals contribute emotionally, intellectually, and even practically, the connection deepens and becomes more meaningful. But here's the secret: sometimes the best way to draw her closer is to give her an opportunity to invest in you. This concept might seem counterintuitive at first. After all, aren't you supposed to be the one impressing her, doing things for her and winning her over? Not exactly. Studies show that people tend to value more highly what they invest effort into. It's called the Benjamin Franklin effect, and it's a fascinating psychological phenomenon. When you ask someone for a small favor, they subconsciously start to feel more invested in you, which often leads to them liking you more. How does this play out in a relationship? Imagine you're deciding between two movies to watch together. Instead of making the choice yourself, you could say, "I trust your taste. What do you think we should watch?" It's a simple favor, but it signals that you value her opinion and are open to her input. By making decisions together, you foster a sense of partnership. The key here is balance. Asking for too much too soon can come across as needy or dependent, which can undermine the attraction you're building. Instead, aim for small, thoughtful favors that feel natural and reciprocal. Perhaps she's passionate about fitness, and you ask her for workout tips. Or maybe she loves cooking, and you ask for a recipe recommendation. These moments of shared investment create a dynamic where she feels her contributions are valued and appreciated. At the same time, it's essential to show that you're also investing in her. When she shares something important, a dream, a challenge, or even just a small detail about her day, acknowledge it. Take the time to remember the little things she mentions and bring them up later. This demonstrates that you're not just passively listening, but actively engaging in her world. Encouraging mutual investment goes beyond small favors and thoughtful gestures. It's also about creating shared experiences that require both of you to contribute. Whether it's planning a weekend getaway, starting a new hobby together, or collaborating on a project, these joint efforts strengthen your bond. They create a sense of us that's more powerful than any individual action. But there's another layer to this. By inviting her to invest in you, you subtly communicate that you see her as an equal partner in the relationship. This respect and mutuality are incredibly attractive because they show that you're not looking for someone to complete you, but rather someone to share life's journey with. From a Stoic perspective, this approach aligns perfectly with the idea of balanced, intentional relationships. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and to value authentic connections over superficial exchanges. By fostering mutual investment, you're not only building a more equitable relationship, but also one rooted in genuine respect and shared growth. So, as you move forward, think about how you can encourage this dynamic in your interactions. Remember, it's not about keeping score or forcing her to prove her interest. It's about creating opportunities for both of you to contribute to the relationship, making it stronger and more fulfilling for both parties. In doing so, you'll find that she's not just chasing you, she's actively building something meaningful with you. 10. Stop seeking approval. So one of the most common pitfalls in relationships, especially early on, is the tendency to seek constant approval. You might find yourself trying too hard to make her laugh, agreeing with everything she says or doing whatever it takes to avoid conflict. That while it may seem like a way to win her over, this behavior often has the opposite effect. It can come across as insecure and inauthentic. Now think about this. Have you ever been around someone who seemed to be performing for your approval? It's exhausting, isn't it? Genuine connections aren't built on a foundation of people-pleasing. They're built on mutual respect and authenticity. The women are drawn to men who stand firm in their values, who aren't afraid to disagree respectfully, and who are confident enough to be themselves. The problem with seeking approval is that it shifts your focus outward. Instead of staying true to your own principles, you start tailoring your behavior to what you think she wants. Over time, this can erode your sense of self, making you feel dependent on her validation for your happiness and self-worth. And here's the kicker. The more you seek her approval, the less attractive you become. Why? Because it signals that you don't see your own value. The solution is simple but profound. Shift your focus inward. Instead of trying to impress her, focus on living in alignment with your values. If honesty, for example, is one of your core principles, don't be afraid to speak your truth, even if it might not be what she wants to hear. If you believe in maintaining a balanced life, don't abandon your hobbies, friendships, or personal growth to spend every waking moment with her. By staying true to yourself, you naturally exude confidence and self-respect. This doesn't mean you should ignore her feelings or be stubborn for the sake of it. On the contrary, a man who is secure in himself listens to others and considers their perspectives, but he doesn't compromise his values or pretend to be someone he's not. This kind of authenticity is rare and incredibly attractive. Let's consider a practical example. Imagine you're having a conversation about a topic you're passionate about, and she expresses a different opinion. Instead of nodding along to avoid disagreement, engage with her thoughts respectfully. That's an interesting perspective, you might say. Here's how I see it. This approach shows that you value your own voice while still respecting hers. Another way to break free from the cycle of approval seeking is to cultivate a mindset of abundance. Remind yourself that your value doesn't hinge on one person's opinion. There are countless opportunities for connection and growth in life, and the right people will appreciate you for who you are, not who you think you need to be. From a Stoic standpoint, this ties back to the principle of focusing on what you can control. You can't control how someone else perceives you, but you can control how you show up in the world. By letting go of the need for external validation, you reclaim your power and create space for genuine, fulfilling relationships to flourish. Here's a question to reflect on. When was the last time you compromised your true self for someone else's approval? What did it cost you? By becoming aware of these moments, you can start to make conscious choices that align with your values, reinforcing your self-worth and independence. Ultimately, when you stop seeking approval, you send a powerful message. You are confident in your own skin, and your happiness is not dependent on others. This sense of self-assurance creates a dynamic where she feels drawn to you, not because you're trying to win her over, but because you're unapologetically living your truth. And that's the kind of energy that keeps her coming back for more. As we wrap up, it's clear that these 10 secrets grounded in Stoic principles offer more than just a strategy for attraction. They provide a roadmap for personal growth and authentic connection. By living with purpose, cultivating self-worth, and fostering deep, meaningful relationships, you become the kind of man who naturally inspires admiration and respect. If these insights resonated with you, I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments. What secret stood out to you the most? How will you apply these principles in your life? And if you're ready to continue your journey of growth and connection, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with others who could benefit from it. Thank you for being part of this conversation. Here's to embracing the wisdom of Stoicism and building relationships that are not only fulfilling but transformative. So until next time, stay confident, stay true to yourself, and keep striving to be the best version of you.